Good evening, good evening, good evening. I guess I had the mic on already. That was me viewing my own video to make sure it was live, because YouTube was lying to me and telling me that it wasn't connected, and it was connected. So I apologise for that. That was the advert that was playing for me to watch my own video before I could say hello to you all. Anyway, how are we all tonight? Welcome back to the Friday night stream. We're back on Friday, back on solid ground. We know what we're doing now. Sorry, it's freezing here. I'm still in my mode, so I'll get myself looking a little bit better, more presentable for you all. Fully merched up today. I've been wearing my Aquarium Adventures hat, hoodie, t-shirt, 2 t-shirts actually, because it's so bleeding cold here. Snowstorms abound today in Sheffield, and heating not up to the job in Casa del Aquarium Adventures, but a little bit warmer now, so we're getting there. How's everyone? Hopefully you can hear me and see me. I've done that thing where I've not actually checked to see if anyone can actually hear me and see me, but loud and clear, thanks Vince, even before I asked. So let's have a little look through and see who we've got in tonight. As always, first every week I think, Rocky's Rocky, social discussing, I think that's a great name. Welcome back. Me Witchy Ways, early tonight, NJW from Doncaster, hello from Sheffield. The Spectrum Theatre, hello there. Don Ransom, we've got Scott, we've got Freshwater Ichthyology. Rebecca, thank you very much for joining us. I might be calling on you to back me up in some more scientific versions of the explanations of things I might get into later on. As a bit of an aside, we have been discussing some things on Discord this evening. So one of our subscribers, one of our family, has had some issues with some Discus. So we've been talking about that. So I'll talk about it a bit in a little while. But that's the idea behind having this Discord server. It's a smaller community of, I like to think, some fairly experienced fish keepers. So you can ask your questions, you'll be treated respectfully, fairly. There's none of the, well, I hope there isn't. If there is, our mods will be straight on it. But there's none of the toxic side of the things that you get in many of the Facebook groups and things like that, for instance. So it's a good community. It's not all just about fish. There's lots of sections just to have a laugh, talk about all kinds of things. But if you have some fishy questions, by all means ask them there. So one of our members has been experiencing some issues with whirling, so we might have a bit of a chat about that later on. But let me continue saying hello to everyone. So we've got Kieran, we've got some guy called Aquarium Adventures, Vince is in, Spectrum Theatre again is in, AR3 Fish Room, GB. I'm seeing some names I know and some names I don't know, so welcome all the new people if you are new here. As I said, we're talking about Discord. There's a link up. No, there isn't. There's not even one up there. Doing well tonight, Graham. There'll be a link in chat to the Discord server. Let me see if I can bring that back myself. There we go. There's a link up there for the Discord server. So if you want to join that, if you are new here, just make sure you click that subscribe button before you go in there. That'll be nice. You'll be given a role of subscriber. I don't know that makes any difference, but you know, get a different colour bubble next to your name, I guess. Who else have we got? We've got Michelle, we've got Paul, Simon's here. Simon's still here. Scott's here. Simon's here again. Simon making his claim for top mod, already promoting all the merch. So if you do want any merch or fish food or things like that, check out the website. I'll get all my plugs out the way before we start, shall I? aquariumadventures.co.uk for all your fishy needs. Sorry, shameless plugging. Mark Brennan's here, Vince Ransom, Evan Hunter, currently minus 24 degrees in Winnipeg, Canada. So I really shouldn't be moaning. I think it's currently -1 here. What is it? No, it's Alexa's telling me it's 0.5 degrees here in Sheffield. It feels like it's -10 at least, but I guess not. Wow, -24. That must be something to experience. I think the coldest it's ever got here might be. Well, I'm from Glasgow, so I do remember it being very cold up there, but I think the coldest I've ever seen it in Sheffield was -10 about 4 or 5 years ago, something like that. That was ridiculous. we're just not built for that kind of, or the housing and the infrastructure just isn't built for that kind of temperature over here. Sean Williams, do you have any other hobbies? First question of the night, that's what we like, get in early with your questions. I do have other hobbies. So my two main hobbies are fish keeping and YouTubing. So if you saw last week's video, I made a video about the first of my start of the 2022 clickbaity titled videos. So I made a bit of a video about how much money I made in 2021 from YouTube. So I talked about in that video that fish keeping is my hobby and YouTube is another hobby. It's not, YouTube isn't my drive to make money. I like messing around with cameras and tech and lights and understanding how to edit and fighting with the algorithm on YouTube to see if I can work out any little tricks and tips and things like that. So they're my two main hobbies. I don't know, have I got any other hobbies? I've not really got time for anything else. My proper job takes up most of the day, obviously, as it would. And then I've got the wife and 3 kids as well, so they demand some attention every now and again. And then obviously the fish keeping and then the YouTubing. So I'll do like photography as well. I guess that's a hobby in and of itself. But the hours in the day quickly run out when you get to other things. I've just started trying to learn how to play the drums. So I guess that could be classed as a hobby. Just bought myself some new cymbals today. Who knew cymbals were so expensive? Anyway, I'm not very good at the drums. I'm not very good at the guitar. I like playing music or attempting to play music. I'm just not very good at it. But 2022 is going to be my year where I learn to play the drums. So I guess that's pretty much most of my hobbies. I'm not a gamer as such, but the kids like playing gamer. I don't know why I said it like that. If I get a chance, I like to play games. So mostly I'm playing the same games that my kids play, just so as I can check in on them, keep an eye on them, that kind of thing. So I've been playing a lot of Fortnite recently. And anything else that comes out free on the various game stores. I've got somewhat addicted to, what is it called? It's the one with the boats where I was going to say where we swim around, but you don't swim, you drive the boat. Sail the boat, that's the word I was looking for. And you shoot all the other boats. It's like World of Tanks, but with boats. In fact, it's probably the World of Warships, that's the one. Uber geeky, I know, but... So that's kind of most of my hobbies. I used to play golf. If I ever get a chance, I like to have a go, but that's one of those hobbies that just takes so much time. I just never have like a 5-hour block of time to go away and go for an afternoon of golf. So I'd like to start playing golf more. I used to be good at golf when I was younger, but I just don't get a chance really. And then it's not really a hobby, but it's more related to my fish keeping hobby is all the kind of DIY stuff that you end up doing. So as you'll see, I'm trying to build a fish room in my garage. I've put up the walls, I've done the plasterboard, I'm trying to do the plastering, but I'm knackered my shoulder. This one's pretty much better now, but this one's completely gubbed, basically, done on my rotator cuff. So it's slow progress. So if anybody wants to come to Sheffield and help me finish my plastering my fish room, or plaster my fish room for me, let me know in the comments. So that about covers it. Let me see if we get any other interesting hobbies in the chat. Let me know what you are all into. Anything that's... I mean, I'm not really in the market for new hobbies, but I might swap out some hobbies if I can find something more rewarding. So where we got Gary, hi all. Hello Gary. Apologise if I can't see your... What's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I can. It's down there. I was going to say I can't see your avatars. Is that the word? Profile pictures. Because eyes are bad. They are small. They're a little bit bigger there. So if you're someone I know, hello. I found out this week that my colleagues at work have been watching my live streams and my videos in the background, not saying anything. So say hello if you're there. Paul, Andy, you know who you are. Just so they can take the piss out of me next week. I expect some super chat donations from you if you're there, Paul or Andy. Lily's here. Prize received. Thank you. I'm glad it got there. Yeah, there was a few went out this week. I was a little bit behind with my prize giving. So hopefully everyone that was expecting a prize has now received their prize. There's a bit of a delay. I found there's a couple of orders went out late, so I apologise if you had actually bought something from the website and you didn't get anything until this week. So there's a couple of orders before Christmas that I had all intentions of posting, but I only got as far as putting them in the back of the car and just driving them around Sheffield for a week before I went, oh, those parcels are still there. So they only went out this week. So I do apologise if some of your food orders took a little bit longer. Hopefully everyone got everything they needed in time. What's that say? Atahimony. Is that Courtney in disguise trying to trip me up with some kind of weird name? Lauren's in. Hello everyone. Stephen McCandless. Sharpie's here. Sharpie Fishing Adventures. How was I second in? 45 minutes behind Rocky when I got here the minute you put out the notification. I think Rocky pretty much lives in the chat. Just gets in there straight away. I must admit, I almost forgot to schedule tonight's stream. It wasn't until Mickey in the Discord server says, are we having a stream tonight? And I was like, oh yeah, I knew I was meant to be doing something. There's the link to the Discord server that Simon's sharing for us. Thank you very much, sir. There's a question. Is the soft Artemia food you sell good for zebra plecos? I don't know. I've never kept zebra plecos. I have had various types of Ancistrus, and while they ate it, I don't know if it's... I worry sometimes about giving advice saying, oh yes, this is good for X fish or Y fish. Lots of fish will eat any old crap that you throw in there. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for them. I do think the soft Artemia food is a great food because it will fill the needs of many and various types of fish. So it is very high in nutrients. Often you'll get something that's really high in protein but lacking in other areas, whereas this is just a good staple food. It's the staple food I use for my discus. Although recently I've been moving over to the cloverleaf food, the cloverleaf discus food. I'm not moving over, but I've been feeding a lot more of it because it's a harder. So the soft Artemia is soft, it's sticky. It doesn't work well in auto feeders, and I do like to use auto feeders while I'm here, whereas the cloverleaf stuff is a harder pellet. So I quite like that one for discus. But in terms of whether it's good for zebra plecos, I'm sure they would eat it. I don't know that it would fulfill all their needs because you might want to get some plant-based things in there, so some more what's the word? Come on, it's the thing that you have in fish tanks that you don't want. Algae, there you go. You want some more algae-based stuff in your diet, for most plecos anyway. In fact, freshwater ichthyology is probably already typing an answer that will be much more comprehensive than anything I might say, so check that out. Atiheim, I've got to find a way to say that. I can't read that word. Your name is difficult for me to say. You're in Sheffield as well? Well, if you want to come and plaster my garage, let me know. Michelle E. Dear Graham, did you get my email last week with my details and ramblings? I don't know that I did, Michelle. Let's have a quick look. No, I might have a proper look later. Or if you send it again, I'll make sure I look out for it tomorrow or after the stream. Evening Mush. My granddad was a fantastic drummer. Yeah, I'm surrounded by fantastic drummers. Doesn't help me. It's one of those things, drums, where I think, oh yeah, how hard can it be? But my God, getting your hands and your feet to work independently of each other just seems to blow my mind. So I've learned enough to become in awe of even average drummers that they can keep things going. Sea of Thieves, no, World of Warships, that was the one. Sea of Thieves, I did download that for the Xbox and wasn't for me. Pardon me. And I say I don't have time for new hobbies, I get another. That's kind of my curse. I usually get into something just as I think, I've not got any time to myself. I just want to chill out for a bit. Oh, look at that, bright, shiny. Another hobby, I guess, is computer stuff. I like building computers, messing with tech stuff, gadgetry of all kinds. I'm quite into all that. I suppose that's more... Oh, well, no, I was going to say I suppose that's more related to my job, but it's not, because I don't build servers and networks and things like that, but I do like playing around in the tech field. Tanked Aquatics, hello, second time, always miss you. Well, glad you could make it this time. I never tell my workers about my YouTube shenanigans. You know, I was very much the same. I didn't like anyone in real life knowing that I was doing YouTube, if you know what I mean. But it got to the point where I thought, I think it was when I got to like 1,000 subscribers, I thought, you know what? It might be getting me 20 quid a month or something like that. Why wouldn't I tell people? It's helping pay for my real hobby. And again, this is something that I always say, this, if my main hobby is fish keeping and then I do YouTube about fish keeping, that's kind of supporting the main hobby. It's a complete lie. I'm just lying to myself when I say these things, because I end up spending more or just as much on the YouTube side of things, buying cameras, lights, microphones, stream decks, this, that and the other. Lenses. Lenses are so expensive. Anyway, I spend just as much, if not more, on the YouTube side of things than I do on the fish keeping hobby. But at least the YouTube does kick back some money, whereas fish keeping doesn't. It just drains money. I don't know how I got into that tangent, but that's true. But yeah, oh yeah, telling your friends at home. I've got rid of OBS. I might be talking to myself. No, I appear to still be live. Yeah, never telling my co-workers about my YouTubing. I didn't even tell my friends for a long time. I don't know if I was just embarrassed almost, that you're a YouTuber. Still now when people say YouTuber or influencer, I'm like, it's like nails down a blackboard to me, because I don't approach it like that. I know a lot of people do, and I know a lot of people don't, and then still end up being influencers or YouTubers. But I don't like to be embarrassed about something I quite enjoy doing. So I never used to do live streams. I only started doing live streams a year ago, I think. I did the odd one or two, but I just, it wasn't for me, because I preferred the chance to sit back and edit a video and make sure I was not tripping over my words and saying things in the right order, or being able to fact check myself. But once I started doing live streams, this was great. I loved the chance to get a kind of, not one-on-one, but maybe 40-on-1 conversation going, where people can ask me questions there and then, and I can answer you there and then, rather than having to trawl through comments and answer that way. And the comments on YouTube are just a bit weird. They never really work properly or as you expect them. So I thought, well, I don't. The only reason I keep doing the live streams is because I quite enjoy them. It's fun. I like feel like a bit of a TV director. You get to sit here with all your equipment and press buttons and move things around and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, great. And we get to chat and we get to talk about subjects and we have a bit of a laugh. Then it's done. So why would I be embarrassed about something I like doing? So. And the YouTube game, it's all about getting the numbers. So the more people that know about it, even if they subscribe only to take the piss, they're still subscribed. That's kind of the way I look at it. So when my co-workers say, I saw your video the other week, I don't mind if it's going to be a bit of a cringy conversation. I was like, yep, that's one more view. Excellent. Who else have we got? We've got Noodle Sandwich here. Kieran, I haven't got my calendar yet. I definitely sent your calendar. I may well have sent you two, so because I found a receipt to a Northern Ireland address, and the only other person I usually send things to is Mickey in Northern Ireland. So two might turn up. By all means, give one to one of your friends. But if none of them turn up, like you say, it might take a while. Give it a few more days. And and then give us a shout if it doesn't turn up. I might have to email you a PDF version, you print it out yourself. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with the comments. One of my hobbies that I'm rather good at is upsetting people. I don't know if that's a hobby or a skill. Oh, what's this? I've just discovered my kryptonite: mulled wine, Weston pressed cider, and Gordon's gin. I bet you can't handle many of them before the night gets a bit fuzzy. Shadex is here, Kaylee's in, so probably time we did a competition, I guess. If you are new here, we do tend to do giveaways every now and again, but we need to get the like ratio up. I'm just looking over to my left. I can see we have 44 concurrent viewers and only 26 likes. Now that YouTube took away the dislike button, we really need to get those like numbers up on all videos and live streams, because it's the only way people know that the videos are worth watching, unless of course they aren't. So who knows. What does that say? When can we see a blue screen or large aquarium behind you? Never. So, well, not never, but there's a radiator there which has stopped me putting an aquarium there. And there's also no power on that side, so unless I rearrange my office to point that way. So there's a small aquarium behind me. But the green screen or the blue screen, that might be the option. I did tinker with that a while ago and it worked quite well. But I want to get... Sorry, this is going to go on a long and boring story, rambling story. In the fish room, when it's finally finished, which might be a year from now, going at the current rate that I'm going at, I'm planning to have a monster tank in there. So a kind of 12 foot, 4 foot, 4 foot, something along those lines. And my plan is to have a GoPro set up as like a live streaming camera, just to film that constantly. So maybe we could have that as a backdrop. But yeah, for the moment we're stuck with that little one. Although I have got my on-air sign, which I quite like. So that it will be coming. I just can't give you time. I was hoping that it would all be underway by now. But get your tiny violins out now. I knackered my shoulder in a couple of weeks back over Christmas, and that's really hindered any progress in the fish room at the moment. I've just been keeping things fed, not even cleaning that well. Everything hurts to do. So luckily, most things, well, not luckily, but if I'd got a little bit further, we might have some auto water changes going on. So I'm still doing a little bit of water changes manually, which is a little bit grating. But I'm kind of doing the bare minimum just because everything hurts. So lifting anything anywhere or moving my hands higher than my head is just agony at the minute. So give it another couple of weeks to settle down. Hopefully I can get some plastering done and then get started on the mega tank, because hopefully that'll probably be quite low down, so I shouldn't need to lift my hands up too high. And then you can get your blue screen or your green screen behind you. Rebecca was letting me talk about my Pleco diet, but let me dig my own hole, thank you. Ideally for hypancistrus, see, I've been practicing saying that word, you want a diet high in algae and a few invertebrates to match their wild diet. Yeah, so that's kind of what I was saying, you want algae. Noodle has added some albino cories to the tank. Unfortunately I had to reorder my plants as they were in a terrible condition. Well, that kind of is a risk you take with ordering plants online, is especially these days. So anything over the Christmas period just takes longer, whether it's just weather, whether it's sickness. But these days, holidays, these days, sickness is a big thing, because obviously lots of people are off sick and they can't come in. So anything live, that's why I'm not sending anything live at the moment or ordering anything live, because it's just 50-50 whether it gets there in any kind of condition that's usable. Right, we've got a pronunciation. At him. Alright, at him. At him. I shall say it 6 times now. At him, at him, at him, at him, at him, at him. That's how it's usually pronounced. I actually am a builder. Oh, God. Welcome to the stream, at him. Can't do. What do you mean can't do plastering? If you're a builder, surely you can do plastering. Don't all the trades look down on the plasterer? I thought that was the way it worked. It went like builder, electrician, plumber, or is joiner above plumber? I can never remember what way it works. But depending which trade you speak to, they're always at the top and everyone else is underneath. But it turns out I can't do plastering either, so I'm not looking for any kind of quality. I just want to get it covering the plasterboard at this stage. That's all I'm interested in. But if you ever want a brick pond building, I do want a brick pond building, then let me know. We might have to have a profitable conversation after this. A pond is definitely on the cards for me in 2022. That's one of the things I want to do. I have a kind of outline plan in my head. I haven't got anything on paper yet, mostly because the wife needs to be involved in this, and the pond is part of a package deal where it's like a summer house, patio, pond, whole deal of making area look nice, whereas all I care about is the pond part of it. So yeah, that might be useful. We might have to have a profitable conversation, as you say. Where's the beer review? Oh, we've not got any beers tonight. I'm afraid I'm just on Pepsi Max tonight. I didn't get a chance to nip out to the shops, and we've drank all the Christmas beer. So I think this might be the first alcohol-free stream for ever. Ugh. Maybe I've got a problem. Yeah, so we're on Pepsi Max tonight. Kieran and Michelle are having some kind of weird conversation about whether they live next door to each other. Jab's in. So we've got Kaylee and Jab. And we haven't had a giveaway yet. We might need to rectify that soon. Yes, as Noodle Sandwich says, please take the 10 seconds it takes to give a like. We're still not quite there. We've got 40 concurrent viewers and only 31 likes. Hello. We've got a question. Gazmac 1. A question about your Discus show tank in your old house. What was the volume of water with the sump? Because I am upstairs also with a 450 litres and I need to upgrade soon as I have Oscars. It was just shy of 700 litres. And I did get it checked by both a builder and a, what do you call those people? Not building inspector. I've completely lost the power of speech. The people, kind of like a building inspector. No, it's not that. It's a structural engineer. That's the one. I had it on my mind because we had one out to have a look at our roof in the current house. But yes, we had some work done in the kitchen. We had the builder and the structural engineer, and I was like, how much weight can I put here safely? And it was well within limits. So the key to that is, I'm not saying everyone should go and put 700 litres of anywhere they want upstairs. The key is that you're backing onto a load-bearing wall. So, for instance, I'm going to try a diagram now. So let's say this is your wall. Let's see if I can do this properly. If this is your wall, that has to be a load-bearing wall, and then you have your aquarium running there, so it'll go, and your joists run that way. So you spread, your joists run perpendicular to the wall, so you spread the weight across as much area as possible. So if your joists run that way, you're putting a lot of weight at the weakest, not that it's weak, but at the weakest part of the floor, if that makes sense. So as long as you can spread the weight over more joists, have it against a structural solid wall, you should be good to go. What is the best food to feed Fry? I love all these questions. Thank you very much. Usually I'm sat here going, what are we going to talk about tonight? Before I crash on, I did have two topics in mind. One was heating and how to keep your aquariums, well, not nearly how to keep your aquariums warm, but how much are you paying currently for your aquariums. And the other was about Discus. Pardon me. So we'll get to them as well, but by all means, shout out all your questions. I do love a good question. We can keep things moving from topic to topic. What is the best fish food to fry? And more specifically, your second question, what is the best fish food to feed CPD fry? So I made a video on this. I realised recently I have now made 400 videos on my YouTube channel. So I think I'm going to have to circle back to the start in any of the actually interesting or knowledgeable videos that I ever made, remake them better, because I find myself pointing at really old videos where it's me stood in front of the camera going, "Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Now we will talk about a thing about fish." And I'm like, oh God, I can't believe I sent 5 people to that video. So I might have to make them now a little bit more natural in front of the camera and more experienced with how to edit things. I sent someone to watch a video recently, and I realised there's like a good 30 seconds, and that doesn't sound like long, but there's a good 30 seconds of me saying something and then stopping and kind of staring at the camera, just looking from side to side, and then walking over to the camera and pressing the stop button. I'm like, why have I left that in the video? So anyway, the best fish food fry, for me, this isn't necessarily the right answer, but what I do and what I've done with most of my fry, whether they be live bearers, Plecos, even Discus fry, all kinds of things, is I keep, I'm just looking around to see if there's any here, but one of my containers, which I don't have any of around right now, but I sell them on my website, aquariumadventures.co.uk. One of my containers I keep, and then when I get to the bottom of any type of food, I'll pour in like the dust that's left over. So whether it's a flake food, some Artemia, some pellets, some wafers, whatever it might be, when you get to the bottom of whatever tub of food that you're feeding or bag of food that you're feeding, pour the dregs into another tub, put in a couple of solid bits. I usually use something like the stick-on tabs that I sell. I'll put a couple of them in and then just give it a proper shake, and it just crushes everything to dust. And because you've got so many different types of food, I find, or my thinking is that it's because there's so many different types of food that there'll be something in there for everyone, and that's what I feed, is that dust. You can buy specific fry foods for X fish, Y fish, whatever, but not to slag them off, but a lot of the commercial foods that you buy, it is just the same as you would make at home. So fry food is just crushed up food. Very few of them have specific recipes or nutritional qualities that are different specifically for fry. They are just crushed up foods. Obviously, some fish, like for Discus for instance, a lot of people say, oh, baby brine shrimp, that's what you feed on them. So you'll get, depending on the size of the fry, there'll be different things that you can use. So baby brine shrimp, it might be Daphnia, it might be Infusoria. All these kind of live foods are all really good for most types of fry. Get the one that's appropriate to the size of your fry fish's mouth that you can eat. But in terms of the dry food, that's what I would recommend, to just get some other old food, crush it up, and you've got some dust that's got some nutritional value. And I would feed that, and do feed that, to all my fry, regardless of type. I don't buy anything specific for any fry other than live foods. So I will culture baby brine shrimp, I will culture some microworms and things like that if I want to. Or I've tried to culture Infusoria so many times, it's just always ended up in a stinky mess. But I think mostly the live foods are the best foods for the fry. A lot of the time you can just have a healthy aquarium with lots of plant matter in there. You'll have food in there for the fry. So like my guppy tanks for instance, they've always got loads of moss in there, loads of little nooks and crannies for things to hide, and fry find food in there. So the little ecosystems are already going in there. Pardon me. I feed Hikari, first bites, baby brine, and microworms, or microworms. Yep, all good options. Right, let me see if I can scroll through some more comments. Wildlife photography, that would be, I guess that's also a hobby of mine, although I just don't get a lot of time to do it, and I'm not quite as skilled enough to call it a proper hobby, if that makes sense. But I do like, I always take the camera and get the zoom lens out, and so last year we went and did a lot of deer photography. I'm trying to capture some deer, and again, didn't really get anywhere. Come on, tappy that button, like Happy Gilmore, as they say. Another question. Question about quarantine. I have one discus currently in a 55 gallon. I've lost 4 to parasites. Setting up a 130 gallon. Want to stock with 12 new discus. Want to add my lonely girl. Not sure on the right approach. Right, so you only have one at the moment. You want to add 12 new ones and add my lonely girl. Not sure the right. So what I would say then is you want to be thinking of the sacrificial lamb scenario. That's where if you have one set of fish over here, one set of discus over here, one set of discus over here. Am I horribly out of focus? Or is that just me? I'll look and focus here, there, but not. Anyway, sorry. You've one set, so let's say you have 10 discus over here from one supplier, you have 10 discus over here from another supplier. You take one fish from each tank and put them in a third tank and see how they get on together. And you're looking for signs of stress, disease, of anything to go wrong. Ideally, you're looking for them to remain healthy for at least 2 weeks, if not 4. If they remain healthy for minimum 2 weeks, at least 4, at least 2, but recommend 4, you know that there's no cross-contamination issues, that kind of thing. That's what you're looking out for. You're looking out for one set of fish carrying a parasite that the other set can't handle, or vice versa. So if you get that right, you know you can mix all the fish, and then you can put all the fish where they want to go. So normally you're doing this when you have a tank full of one type of fish, and then you want to add some extras of a new strain or a new type from a new breeder. So you'll take one from your current stock, one from the new strain, put them in a tank together. That way you're not killing all the fish by putting them all in together. So if something does go wrong, but as you only have one, that kind of becomes the de facto sacrificial lamb. So you just have to be prepared. And what you're looking out for is, 9 times out of 10, it's a cross-contamination issue. So you just have to have your meds prepared in advance when you start the medication, when you start the quarantine, so that you can jump on it straight away. So, hope that makes sense. Don't forget to thank your mods. Yes, quite right. Mods do an excellent job on this channel. I'm very grateful for them. So, lots of thanks in the chat for the mods. Anyone got any stocking ideas for a low-tech planted fluval flex 57? Everyone's getting these bloody fluval flexes. I really want to get one of them. The 57, I guess that's the one that's kind of medium sized one. I keep getting brought up for saying medium all the time. Medium. I'll throw in my tuppence worth. That tank there, I have Ember Tetras and Chili Raspberry. I'm not entirely sure if they are Chili Raspberries. They were labelled as Chili Raspberries. Love it. I think that's great. So if you're going to do low-tech plants, that's what that is. Low-tech plants in there, no CO2 or anything like that. Ember Tetras, Chili Raspberries, get a bunch of both. Should be good. Alex, hey, I'm the one with the Discus issues on Discord. Right, we will talk about that shortly. What's your favourite Discus recipe if you make it? I have a video on that, as he says. My favourite Discus recipe is... So, my favourite Discus food at the moment is I feed almost exclusively... I really am losing the power of speech. We've just been talking about it. It's down here. Soft Artemia. So it's the stuff I sell on my website. Soft Artemia is the base. That and mixed with the cloverleaf Discus foods. Pardon me. That's kind of my core staple diet meal. I will feed some flake on top of that. So I feed some of my bug flake. I will also feed quite a bit of frozen or live foods as well, so that whether it's brine, shrimp, all those kind of things. I stay away from mussels for reasons you probably already know about. I used to be a big advocate of beef heart, but my current discus I've put on just as much size or just as colourful, grown just as well, and I haven't really used any beef heart with them. But when I do make beef heart, I've tended to move away from beef, go on to pork. So pork hearts are a little bit leaner. I've even just done some fish mixes where it's the kind of 90% fish and there's no beef or pork or anything in there. But I've made a couple of hobbies. I've made a couple of videos about me and my beef heart mixes. I still call them beef heart even though there's very little beef in them. And that really hasn't changed over time, what my recipes are. I should really do a playlist of foods and how I make my own foods and things like that. So I'll dig out a link to them and we'll find them on there. But that's kind of, it's been, I want to say like a good 5 years or so since I've tinkered with the recipes that I've used, and I've been quite happy with them. But I've kind of moved over to just dry, frozen and live foods now. Not to say that that's the way forward. There's nothing wrong with these beef heart mixes that are really good. What if I missed something? Mush got the calendar today, so the calendar don't have any around, but still some available for purchase. If you want to know what day it is tomorrow, this won't help because it'll take a few days to arrive. If you want to know what day your birthday is, order a calendar. It's a perfect size for hanging up a kitchen wall, writing your events and all the other. I'm now explaining to you what a calendar does. You know what a calendar does. Mine has some pictures of fish in it. Buy it. Some money will be given to charity. End of plug. Rebecca's only hobbies right now are fish, plants and Warhammer painting. Oh, you should get on well with Sharpie then. He does all that kind of jazz, doesn't he? Sometimes I draw stuff, but art is stressful. Surely that's the opposite of what we're hobbies are meant to be good at relieving stress, not causing stress. I've not considered embers, might have to look into them. Yeah, very nice. Don't get too big, don't get too aggressive. I'm quite happy with them. Help make the garden look nice for the golf course. Yes, golf course is not a long-term proposition. So for those of you who don't know, I'm recently moved into this house and it comes with its own golf course, as don't all houses. So it's got a golf hole out to the front and a putting green at the back. So the rear putting green I think we're going to turn into a pond. I have a terrible video of heron coming into my pond and taking out a koi. Ugh. Yeah, okay, that's one of the things we'll need to... I'm hoping that we won't be too bad because there's no big bodies of water close to us, but I used to see a heron all the time when my old house was by a river, and it's quite often be herons down there, and I know a lot of people that lived in the area who had ponds had to put up lots of anti-heron devices, whether that be fake herons or pagodas and things like that. I don't know if I will have to do as much up here because I'm quite high up, quite overlooked, not overlooked, the opposite of overlooked, trees and stuff stopping. We'll see. In the UK, antibiotics require prescriptions as well. Personally, because cross-contamination could be anything, it's impossible to know what to treat with. Yes, that's true. I've had... I was going to say good success. That's not what I wanted to say. I've had good success with treating with acroflavin and salt but you're right, cross-contamination covers a whole gamut of possible actual diseases. So I meant things like having some Epsom salts and having some acroflavin, meth blue, all those kind of... I was going to say low-end medications, but that's not the right word that I'm looking for. Kind of milder medications that sometimes when you catch things early, you can get some success with them. Small order, Graham. Thank you very much. Any orders is always good. I've just bought some Tubifix. I'll struggle to say that. I've just bought some Tubifix from you. The question is, should it be fed as a treat or any time? I tend to use it as a treat. I've always used it. So the stuff I sell is the freeze-dried stuff Comes in little cubes. You soak it a little bit and you can stick it to the window. Stick it to the side of the aquarium, and then the fish can come up and pick at it. So that's how I feed it. I've never fed it as like the staple for anything, but I mean, there's no reason why not. That will be, some fish in the wild will feed on that exclusively. Pardon me. Local brew, Torque Brewing, Baltic Porter, a whopping 9.2%. Oh, there's a good one in Sheffield. What was it called? Roger and Out or something like that. And it was like 12% volume, something like that. It was ridiculous. A good number could be 10 or so, maybe 6 to 8 if you want to keep something else, such as pygmy. Alright, sorry, we're talking about the Ember Tetras again. Yes, no, that would be good. Structural engineers. Is that how far back in the chat I am? Sorry, I'll have to... Right, let me race back through. Window fitters at the bottom of the food chain. Noted. Right, let me get some... Let me get some speed and I'll read through some of these very quickly. Apologies if I miss any questions. If I do, put at Aquarium Adventures because it flashes up when I see it a bit easier, or one of my mods will repeat it and point it to me because I'm not the best at navigating through the chat. A net is the best solution there. Smart birds that learn quickly. Deep ponds with no gradient can help, or a visual block from above can help. Yeah, so the pagodas seem to be quite a popular thing with all the pond forums that I've been joining recently, because that just kind of breaks up the eye line and I guess fools the bird into thinking, well, that can't be a pond, it's got wood across the top of it. But yeah, nets are also recommended quite well. Let me see how far I can get down here. I applied for the one at Hobbies in Chesterfield, so you must be local as well. If I was going to go to a Hobbies, that would be the one I would go to. I really feel like I should have some background music that plays now. Well, the host is now scanning through all the comments because he's been talking nonsense for the past 10 minutes. Tell you what we'll do. Let's have a giveaway. I'll have a giveaway, but you're all guessing numbers. I'll read the comments. Sometimes I'm a genius. Right, let me get the Nightbot up. So, as we've still got calendars left, this will be for a calendar. Although they are available to buy. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask, I won't make mods eligible for this because mods should all have a calendar by now. And if you haven't, let me know and I'll send you one. But I'm going to ask you all to pick a number between 0 and 50 when I tell you to, not before, or it won't count. The rules are, you're going to type a number in chat if you want to win a calendar. And to win a calendar, the qualification criteria is you have to be a person, you have to live in the world, you have to be a subscriber, you have to be willing to tell me where you live, which is another key component. And I'm going to add an extra bit to that. You have to be willing to tell me which county you live in, because I think it was you, Kieran, where I had to go and I couldn't. The internet wasn't being very clear to tell me what county Belfast was in, but I couldn't buy the postage label without putting in the right county, and it was very stressful for me because I was doing a lot. Anyway, you have to tell me where you live, including the county. That's all I want to say. I've just seen a question about Pepsi Max. We're definitely going to cover that. And so, live in the world, be a person, be a subscriber, tell me where you live, including which county. I think that'll do it, won't it? Go and watch a video, something like that. There you go. So, think of a number between 0 and... Oh, that was it. Don't spam. I've been quite lenient recently, so I want you to... we're going to use the honour system here, so between each guess, I want you to count to 10. If not more. But one guess per 30 seconds. Let's go with that. One guess per 30 seconds. And it will tell me if you've been... And I will cancel you. Not cancel you, that's not what I meant to say. I will null and void your guess if you win and you were spamming, because it does come up and tell me how often you're guessing. So let's say 1 guess per 30 seconds, 0 and 50. Type the number in chat. Go. Right, we're now doing that. So while you're all now typing numbers into the, the chat, I will go and look at all the old comments. Hopefully nobody will win too quickly. Rob's in. Boiler has packed up. Oh, it's gone away again. I'm lurking in the background while trying to troubleshoot a boiler. Wish me luck. That's almost my specialist subject now, Rob. In what way has it packed up? Only because I have a boiler that's very temperamental. Have you checked the pressure? There are 2. No, I won't talk you through that on a live stream. I was going to say, what you want is a plumber. And there's a plumber. Simon might be able to talk you through that. Oh, we've got a winner. Alright, you can stop now. We've got a winner. It's the name I've already forgotten to say, despite having said it 6 times. But let me carry on with the chat. Oh, another new name. There's lots of new names tonight. Welcome everyone who's new. And just for if you have just turned up, this is me now skimming through the comments, trying to make sure I haven't missed any nuggets or gems or good questions. For those of you watching on subtitles, as Sharpie's just pointed out, beef heart, sometimes with my accent, comes up as beef hearts. As in bzzz. I'm reliably informed that watching the live stream with subtitles enabled is one of the most hilarious things you can do over a Friday evening, because YouTube is racist against Scottish people. There we go, that was a Pepsi Max comment that I saw. Has Pepsi Max become more gassy, or is it just me? I'm a bit of a connoisseur of Pepsi Max, I must admit. So my Christmas present this year was a soda stream with the Pepsi Max bottles as well. So I've been trying to perfect over the Christmas period. So each of the bottles makes 9 litres of Pepsi Max. There was 6 of them, and I've just finished them. So I got that on Christmas Day. So how many litres is that? 6 times 9. So you can work it out. So I've drank 54 litres of Pepsi Max made with a soda stream, and it wasn't until the last bottle that I got it perfect. Or to my taste, perfect anyway. And you know how you can adjust the carbonation with a soda stream to get it right. So I finished that, thought that was brilliant, and then I opened up an actual bottle of Pepsi Max and poured it, and it was completely different. So I don't know what I've done. I think I've designed my own perfect drink. So this is actually out of a bottle Pepsi Max, and it is a bit gassy. So maybe I prefer it, unless it has got gassier, and I made it to my old recipe, which was less gassy. I don't know. But I can thoroughly recommend it, having Pepsi Max on tap. So I don't know if it has become more gassy, but I see where you're coming from. They look like they have 2 little claws that they're tiny and they flick around the tank. What? What have I missed? Oh, sorry. I have white fleas, small, in my Discus tank. Look like they hang around in the eggs. How can I get rid of them? I think that was the second part of that. Now I've lost the other. They look like they have 2 little claws, but they are tiny and they flick around all. Oh, I think I know what you mean. I cannot remember the name of them though. So you can get like water fleas and things like that, because that's effectively what Daphnia is. But there is another one. It's like I can't remember the name of it. I'm sure someone else will have to chime in with that one, because I can't remember what they're called. If it's the ones I'm thinking of, then they're not particularly harmful. They end up becoming a food source. What you want to look out for is your fish. like rubbing or flicking or itching, looking itchy, then you know you've got a problem that you might have to deal with it, and there's some kind of parasite at that point. Where you can, usually wormers and things like that will get rid of most things, but right. Well, we got a rare Josh been sighted there. A rare Josh has been sighted in chat. Welcome. The pub's shut. Why are you here? Right, and then we're on to the numbers. Right, everyone's guessed. So we have a winner. It's, you're going to have to type out how you pronounce it again because I've forgotten now. Atim. Well, thank you, Tanked Aquatics, for joining us. But yeah, eating dinner, that's always a good way to go. You bet you out Pepsi Max. No one has out Pepsi Maxed me. Yeah, I used to drink 2 litres a day. That's rookie numbers. I buy the big 3 litre bottles and get through. No, I don't get through more than one of them a day. But yeah, I don't think anyone has ever drank more Pepsi Max than me. And I'm almost considering making that a challenge. So I'm pretty sure I could win that one. I posted a video of the heron taking a golden koi out of the golden koi out of the pond. Right, we shall look at that in a little minute. Atty him. There we go. Viewer discretion advised. Right, shall we try and have a look at this? So, viewer discretion. If you don't want to see a koi getting eaten, don't look. I guess that's what we say. Oh, by the way, Atium, you won the giveaway. So, send me your address and I'll send you the thing. Right, now let me get my desktop all lined up. Oh, no, I've done that wrong, haven't I? Well done, Graham. Idiot. No, stop. I've made it full screen and now I can't see any of my controls. Let me try and work this out. See, I've run into a technical problem here because my full screen is like an ultra wide monitor and that doesn't fit in the OBS preview window, and then the preview is too small so we can't see that either. You're going to have to squint if you're on mobile. I guess that's what we have to say. So I'm going to play this video here. 31 seconds. Nice little pond by the looks of it. Oh, there's the heron. Oh. Yeah, the buggers for that, aren't they? So we used to go actual fishing. Let's go back to Big Face. We used to go actual fishing, so in the winter we'd go pike fishing or carp fishing in the summer and things like that. But in the winter especially, when we were pike fishing, we would always have herons come up. But they'd come like right next to you, as if it was like one of your mates watching the fishing with. How you getting on? Caught anything yet? Any chance I could get something? But they were basically hanging around to be fed because you would fish with dead bait, to be fed the dead bait at the end of the day. But they would stay there for hours because it was obviously an easy meal. Anyway, I digress. Atty him. I will remember that eventually. Who here has wood shrimp? Would they be okay in a community tank? Like bamboo shrimp? Am I thinking of something else? Am I having a brain aneurysm? I want to say yes, but I've confused myself. I think so. Yeah, they should be fine in a community tank. Obviously, not with big, massive cichlids. Depends on the community. Cichlids, I should say. How is your discus tank coming along? It's coming along very slowly, Libio. For those who haven't been following along, I smashed the bottom of my discus display tank, and the current plan is I'm going to move that tank down into the fish room when I get that finished, replace the bottom, and then have that as a big fish room tank. And then I'm going to buy a new tank for the house, pardon me, roughly on the same dimensions but a little bit taller, and then that's going to be my new discus display tank. But here's another thing. If you're a builder, I'm wanting to. Right, this is a long and boring story. So downstairs, we have 2 bedrooms, my bedroom and the wife's bedroom, obviously, and then number 1 son has a bedroom down there. But number 1 son's room has an ensuite toilet, and we want to block off that toilet and put a door in the hallway so as it becomes a downstairs loo. So his room loses a toilet, but the hallway gains a downstairs loo. And then once we've done that, we can put in a new, cause the hallway currently carpeted, but the carpet's minging. It's from the old people who used to live here, and they just had a big massive dog that I think just used it as a toilet. So it's got holes in it. It can't be saved. So that needs to go. So we want to get a nice wooden floor or something like that. Even if it was a carpet, whatever it is, we need to finish moving the door first before we can put the carpet down. So I don't want to buy the new tank until we've done all that work, because I don't want to put the new tank together, because I guarantee you as soon as I get that tank up, we'll find the builder, or someone will be free to do the work, and then we'll get the flooring done, and I'll have to take it all back down again. So I'm kind of just waiting until all that work's finished before I can then build the tank in the position that I want to have the tank in. So that's a long way of saying the discus display tank isn't going anywhere fast. I really need to get the fish room side of that bit done first, because if I move it down to the fish room and reseal the bottom or replace the panel in the bottom, I can at least get the discus tank up there running properly, even if it's there for a while like that. That's fine. And then I can just worry about bringing it back into the house and beautifying it with a nice aquascape and all that kind of stuff later. Because I'm hankering for some new fish, let's put it that way. I haven't bought a new fish in donkeys. All I've done is sold fish for God knows how long, because moving house I sold a load of fish just to make it easier to move, and then I've sold a load more since then. I haven't bought any new fish for God knows how long. So I'm really hoping that we can get the fish room done. Play around with it, because there's still some questions over what tanks I'm going to have and how I'm going to use my fish room. If I can get that done, that'll at least let me set up a load more tanks, and I can start buying some fish again and trying that. But the discus tank is on hold. Let's put it that way for the moment. This human performs better on Warehouse 13. Hop House 13, do you mean? Yes, it does. I don't know. I've not slurred any words yet tonight on the Pepsi Max. Question from Santusenberg. There you go. Oh, this one. Do you believe that a water hardness of about 400 ppm is too much for German discus? Probably not. I know people who would describe their water as liquid rock, who are keeping Stenker discus, which is the German discus usually people talking about. You might have trouble breeding and things like that, but no, they should be perfectly happy with that. The Stenker discus are notoriously better for harder water conditions, so they might not. There's always a discussion about thriving versus surviving, so I don't think that would just be surviving. At 400 parts per million, I think that would be probably fine. If you wanted to do something about it, you could look into water softeners. Things like your HMA filters won't necessarily do that, but you can buy some cartridges and replace, almost like going RO water light, if you like. So RO water is water with nothing in it, and it's all zero, and then you remineralize. I would never advise anyone to do that unless you were trying to breed and you had to hit specific numbers to be able to do so. But you can do that. I just don't think you have to. I think it would probably be fine. What is your quarantine protocol for new Discus? It's the one I described earlier. So earlier on, someone asked this question. I would, if it was different suppliers Discus, I would use the sacrificial lamb method. One from the old Discus, one from the new Discus. Put them in a tank together. See how you get on. If it's Discus from my current supplier, I've just seen some super chats. If it's Discus from my current supplier, so it's the same breeder coming from the same place, I would just quarantine them like any other fish. I would just put them in a tank, monitor them for, I want to say I'll monitor them for a couple of weeks, but I'll probably monitor them for a few days, a week tops, and then decide everything's fine and put them in. There you go, someone, freshwater ichthyology is agreeing with me. Yeah, you could buy Arrow and mix with your tap water. Yeah, that's quite good. Quite a well-trodden path for you mix your Arrow with your tap water for your water changes. Let's try a sticker run to say thanks, Aquarium Adventures. It's only 99p and it helps fund the generous giveaways run by well, I'm not going to say no, but you don't have to do things like this. Thank you very much. I guess that's why there's these stickers coming through. I see what you did there, Noodle. Thank you very much. Wood shrimp. So I am behind again. Well done, me. Wood shrimp depends on the community as long as it's nothing nippy. Yeah, nothing that's going to eat the shrimp. They should be fine. I kept cherry shrimp in my Discus tank for a long time because there was enough. Don't get me wrong, it's not a good idea, but there was enough cover in the tank that the cherry shrimp community lived long enough. Eventually, they did all get eaten, but they lived for a good couple of years. Bamboo shrimp are fine, just not with bickers, as some idiots would say. Biters. Lee Jones, evening all. Sorry I'm late, that's quite alright. Noodle sandwich with the 99p super chat. Thank you very much, Noodle. You really don't have to, but I do appreciate all the super chats, super stickers, super things. It really does help with the running. Like I say, this is an expensive hobby, so I appreciate every super chat, but get embarrassed to ask them. You can see some channels are like, come on, let's get the super chat train rolling. You'll never get that from me, but I will appreciate it if you do it. That sounds bad. I'm closing down my Mbuna, one of my favourite words to say, Mbuna, Aqua 1 230 litre tank, and I'm going planted CO2. The wife thinks I'm mental. I need help for ideas with stocking. I'm thinking loads of red pencil fish, but what feature fish? Now there's a question. I'll leave that one to the chat. Let's suggest some fish for that. I've got a hankering for the moment for puffer fish and rainbow fish. They are the two that have been on my mind recently. I'm not sure any of them would be great if you want to keep pencil fish as well. But I've never really kept pencil fish, so I don't know what they need. So yeah, let's have some ideas in the chat. Another super chat, 89 pence. Oh, so appreciated. Thank you very much, Simon. What happened there? I like the new comment thingy you've put. Do you mean this thing? Thank you. Or is that what these guys are using for their super comments? I didn't do it. YouTube did it. YouTube are working hard to part all its users with their money. Pardon me. I have a 4-foot long 120 gallon with 8 discus. How many fully grown discus would you recommend with proper maintenance? 20 to 30% water changes every 2 to 3 days. 50% weekly. What? You're doing 20-30 every 2 or 3 days and 50% weekly. That's a lot of water changes. The 4 foot long is a good sized tank, so I'll qualify this with it depends on a number of factors, as it always does. It's so how much substrate, decoration, plants, all that kind of stuff, how much space is going to be taken up by those things. So it's a very different answer if it's a bare bottom tank or whether it's an aquascape tank, and it's a very different answer if it's just going to be the Discus or if it's going to be a Discus and a couple of hundred rummy nose Tetras and some Plecos and this, that. So you can see where I'm going from there, but pardon me, I think 12's a good number. That would give you some options to have some extra fish and some decoration in there. You could probably go a lot higher than that. I've seen people with really successful tanks where they just cram them in like nobody's business. And with that kind of water change regime, you could probably fit yourself into that category. But yeah, you should. I hate these. Oh, it's 20 litres for the first fish and then 10 litres for every fish after that. That's all nonsense. You need to make the decision. It also depends how good you are at growing Discus. So some Discus will grow enormously depending on how well you feed them up, what kind of tank they're kept in when they're younger. The growth rate can be affected by all manner of things. So if you're going to have, let's say you have 8 Discus that are all big dinner plates, that's very different to 8 Discus that are all side plates. So you need to take that into consideration as well. But yeah, it's an oft debated topic, that how many fish can I fit in there. But yeah, there's I would say there's a range of number depending on all those other factors. Pardon me. Do you think Simon Hall from Just Discus sells decent fish for the price but gets a bad rep because of his advice? Mark Brennan with the super chat, thank you very much. Oh God, there's loads of super chats coming in. Kaylee, noodle sandwich. Simon, noodle sandwich, 2 super chats tonight. Oh, thank you very much for all the super chats, everyone. I might need them, as I'll no doubt get sued for this answer. So there are a number of how do we cover this? There are a number of Discus suppliers, Discus specialists, Discus breeders, call them what you will. There are a number of them in the UK, and I rate most of them, and there are a few of them that I can't stand for personal reasons, and there are a few of them that I think they're just, I can't stand for all kinds of reasons, whether that be personal, professional. I'm trying to think of a way that's not slander or not libel. Well, which one is it I can say that I can't write? Anyway, if long-term viewers, long-term subscribers will always have heard me talk about, I've had fish from Corbin Discus. All my current fish are from Corbin Discus. I've had fish from Chen's. I've had fish from David Lai at Discus for the Discerning. I think that's what they were called. I haven't had fish from some of the other supply. Oh no, I have had fish from Northants Discus. The Bidka fish I had from them for a while back. There are a couple of others that I would recommend because I know or I've talked to or met, spoken to, just knowing them in the community. But the Discus community is quite a toxic place sometimes, and people will slag other people off. It's not always quite deserved. So I'll say this just because it's honest. And yeah, as Rebecca's suggesting, say allegedly a lot. I have had dealings with Simon Hall from Just Discus. When I first got into Discus, I was on all the forums. Oh, who should I use? What should I get? What do I need to know? What do I need to read about? And without fault, everyone told me to avoid Just Discus. which I thought, right, fair enough, and I did, but I never really had any involvement in it. When I first started this channel, it was called Discus Newbie, and it was on all, so I am a Discus guy. I was immersed in the Discus community. I liked getting to know everything I could about Discus and learning everything. And like I say, I have a specialist fairly local to me, Tim at Corbin Discus. Trust his advice. He's worked with him for years. Always had fish from him that have always been top quality, etc., etc., etc. Chen's Discus, another supplier. I mean, they bring them in from different breeders and things like that, but they're the UK face of Discus, if you like, the biggest one in the country. It's Chen's. Francis down there, I've had loads of advice from him, help from him. I've had fish from him in the past. Would happily recommend him because he gives out good advice. His group's quite good. He monitors it and moderates it quite well. So yeah, there are lots of ones I would recommend. Simon Hall from Just Discus. We have had arguments, let's put it that way. We have had disagreements on various things. Now, this is years ago now. I'd like to think I've matured and grown up now, but I've just left him to it, if you like, rather than trying to... He's the kind of person that would argue black as white. I remember having I remember having a discussion with him where he said... he was trying to make the argument that the Amazon River is a constant temperature. And I was like, do you know how big the Amazon River is? Do you know it has like a rainy season? Do you know it rises, it falls, temperature drops, it right? Nope, no it doesn't, never happened, doesn't happen in the wild. And he's one of these people who he would argue that if it didn't happen in the wild, then we shouldn't be emulating it in captivity. And then in the next breath, we'd be doing the exact opposite. And if you said, well, didn't you say yesterday that you should do this, that? No, I didn't. No, you've misunderstood. You've got that wrong. And this links in with what we were talking about earlier, where one of our members, pardon me, has a discus with whirling disease. And those fish happen to be from Simon, and he happens to be feeding Simon's food, which is a muscle-based beef heart mix, if you like. And very unscientific, but my straw poll of everyone that I've seen that's had whirling disease has fed mussels. Not that they've all been just discus fish, but they've all fed mussels quite heavily, and mussels are very high in thiaminase. But Simon will not be told this, as there's any correlation whatsoever between the food and the whirling disease, even though, like I said, 90% of every case I've ever seen. And I'll always say, what do you feed? Do you happen to feed mussels? Yes, he does. Okay, I'm not saying there's any correlation, but there seems to be some connection there. But he's no, it's bad husbandry. It's always the user's fault. We've got the Russian mafia back in tonight. It's always the user's fault. It's not his food. It's you've either overfed, or you're not keeping up with your husbandry, or you're not cleaning up afterwards, or it couldn't be him. He couldn't be wrong. But so my understanding is that he will feed all his fish on that food, and then when you get them. And this is a good practice, is to feed the same food your fish were eating before you got them. Seems like it's a very reasonable thing to do. Because the problem with thiaminase is, over long term, it can cause all kinds of issues, whether that's neurological or elsewise. Pardon me. And that's where whirling comes in. Now, you can go on the internet and look up whirling disease and discus, and you'll get anything from, it's a parasite, it's a neurological disease, it's this kind of problem. Nobody really knows. And that's what the problem is. It's a symptom of something, but no one's ever got to the bottom of what it's a symptom of. if it is just to do with the Thymonese, Rebecca put this very well in our Discord chat earlier. It's like eating a diet of nothing but fast food. If you change the diet, you can flush it out a bit. So there is hope there that if you stop feeding a very heavy muscle-based diet, that you will reverse something. But in my experience, and that's why I say it's an uphill battle, in my experience, when you get to the point where they're already whirling, and it's horrible to watch because they basically just go round and round in circles and then smash off everything in the tank, flying around the place. I've never seen one come back from that, basically. Pardon me. So that's where I don't like to trash anyone, but we have had some disagreements in the past. I don't think his fish are necessarily bad. I think he does have lots of good information as well, but all the information gets presented with the same validity. And it's very hard to pick between the good advice and the bad advice. So he probably does sell decent fish. If it was me, I would be buying young fish off him so as I could get them off that diet and grow them on with a better diet, and then you'd probably be okay. I just don't like his approach. He doesn't stand for any negativity, which makes sense because you wouldn't stand for any negativity, but you'll never find any complaints on his Facebook group or his site because the banhammer is strong with that one. That just comes out like that. So that is my feelings on that one, and that's kind of what we wanted. One of the topics I wanted to cover tonight was talking about that because one of our team members, subscribers, whatever we're calling them, one of our family. Oh dear, maybe I've got COVID. Has had that experience, and whirling is it's horrible because it's really hard to deal with. It's really hard to. You just don't know. You can't throw meds at it because it's not necessarily anything specific. It's very hard. What do you do with a hero sacrificial discus that gets sick and dies in QT? Say you have 3 new discus and they don't mix. That could be 300 worth of discus that are incompatible. It could be. Yeah, but then at least you have the option of either selling them on, passing them on, having a separate tank. But rather than killing all the fish, it is a risk. If you buy fish from different suppliers, different locations, there is a risk they could be incompatible. So you have to think about that. What are you going to do with them if that is the case? Yeah, I don't want to dump on Simon too much, but he sells that food and makes it, sells it. He's not going to hear a bad word said against it. I put some red cherry shrimps into my heavily planted angelfish tank. I can definitely say it was the most expensive meal they've ever had, yes. It is definitely. Pardon me. When I was first setting up my African cichlid tank, I know it's cichlid. My dad asked me what fish they were, and I said African cichlids, and he said, "Why have you gone and played for a sick fish?" He still calls cichlids sick fish. Yeah, I can't. I do it all the time now. Even in shops, I'll be like, "Oh, there's some really nice cichlids." Sorry, I know what they're really called. Sorry, I should really get that as some of my merch. Cichlids. Oh, we've got another one. Kaylee Blackshaw, 99p. Thank you very much, Kaylee. Alright, so they're not... so, San Tussenberg, thank you for the answer. They are German discus, but not from Stinker. Sorry, I did make that assumption. A private breeder in Germany. I would check with the breeder. Other than Simon, most breeders will not want to sell you a bad experience because they want you to come back and buy more. So if they're going to sell you fish and it's going to be a horrible experience for you, they, rather than take a trashing on social media, they will normally say, oh, maybe they're not best for your water, or maybe you should be doing this to your water before you take these fish. But, like I say, I think you should be fine. Noodle, another 99p from Noodle. I'm sure you know there are crazy folk that do daily water. There are, yeah. I was one of those crazy folk once. Can you play an instrument? I can play loads of instruments really badly. So I guess that's not confidently enough that I could be in a band. Let's put it that way. Pardon me. So I can play the guitar. I can play the start of loads of songs. I can play very few all the way through. I've learned 2 different drum beats. So I can play Billie Jean on drums because that's just the same all the way through. I can play... Well, I had a bass guitar. I'm not saying I can play the bass guitar, but I could probably play some very simple bass lines. What else is there? Piano. I can't read music or anything, but I can play a few nursery rhymes and stuff on the piano. I think that's it. So, yes but no. Mark, again, am I skipping back to the same super chats, or is everyone going mental and sending me multiple super chats? Thank you, though. I'm amusing some of you by comparing Discus to dinner plates and side plates. I think that's a good analogy. Yes, John, I think I might have started something. No doubt this will come back to bite me. But while we're on the subject of people I can't stand, no, I best not do that. How about some German blue rams with Tetras or Daniels? I have no local shop here. I have to travel to my local Maidenhead 4 hours away, an hour and a half away, or Premier Aquatics in Runcorn. German blue rams, I think they're a great fish. I love them. I can't remember what question this is relating to, but they do get a bit aggressive, especially at breeding time, and they're hard to find. Well, they're not hard to find, that's the problem. Good ones are hard to find. They have been bred into weakness, I think is the best way to do it. If you can find some from a private breeder that's breeding them privately, that might be good, but some of the commercial German blue rams that you get, they're just so weak and so prone for problems. It's a shame because they're a lovely fish. I love the GBRs. Jabs in again with a 99 pence super chat, and Evan in with a $3 is that? Thank you very much, guys. There you go, there's my good advice. In my opinion, everything I've said tonight has been my opinion, and everything's allegedly. I usually like to talk about these things with a more positive slant, so I'll say these are the sellers I like, these are the sellers I recommend, and then just not mention the other sellers. But since we have been talking about one particular seller and the repeated instances of problems with fish from that sellers, I thought, why not? Why not break the habit of a lifetime? Not one I would recommend. Just Discus. If you want to use it, I'm sure the fish are fine, but buyer beware, let's put it that way. Palmer Aquatics, can't stand them. King of DIY, he's like a gent compared to some of these guys. He's like almost my best mate in comparison to some of these guys. No, we'll leave it there. Thank you. It does. You know what? Everyone, with your 99p super chats, it does make a big difference. It is only a little bit of money, but I can't believe I can come here and ramble about any kind of nonsense and some people will throw money at me. It beggars belief. Thank you very much. Yes, Discord server is linked here. That's as high as I can go without hurting. Come and join us on there. As my on-air sign died. Run out of battery. We can talk about this a bit more freely, and I don't have to worry about getting sued. Chains has always been friendly with me, even with fish not bought from him. I would always recommend him. Yeah, Francis Hu down at Chains Discus. I've always got time for him. He's very helpful, very friendly. There's no nonsense. Just always. He's been doing it a long time as well, which I think is always a good idea. That if you're, especially someone who's immersed in the community, if you like, I'm not that immersed, but I'm immersed enough. You can't go that length of time without people having bad things to say about you if you have some bad practices. And I do not hear those things about Francis and Jens. So I guess that's relating to my argument with him about the temperature of the Amazon River. Lee's falling asleep. We need to do another giveaway. Shall we get the Kaylee wheel out? What have we got? It's 10:30. Let me do a quick... Sorry, that made me laugh, that one. Whirling Disease looks like me on a Saturday night. Yeah, it reminded me of my antics on the dance floor. I did see something that you posted there. I missed that one. So the whole thing about whirling disease caused by mussels, I don't know that that's true. That's just my brain drawing that correlation, in that everyone that I've seen who's had a problem with whirling has fed mussels quite heavily. Not heavily, but for an extended period of time. That's not to say you can't make mussels better, and there are better mussels and there are worse mussels, because the other problem with mussels is they are filter feeders, obviously. So if you get mussels from a place that has heavy metals, they can be contained within that mussel, and then that's what you're feeding your fish, is some of those. So when that gets into the system, so what Rebecca's saying here is, if mussels have heavy metals in them and you feed that to your fish, if you then stop feeding mussels because you find out that it's not a good idea, yes, you can flush out the thiaminase stuff by stopping feeding mussels, but the heavy metals remain. So there can be long-term stuff done. There's an idea. Can we all share this out to other social media channels to see if we can grow the family? Indeed, I have some personal goals to get this channel a little bit bigger this year. I want to grow from last year. If you saw my last video, you'll notice that 2021 was actually smaller than 2020. I had fewer views, fewer subscribers. Everything went a bit stale, so we're going to try some new ideas this year. And you guys can help with that. You can spread the word a little bit. If you are members of any groups, forums, Discord servers, mention this channel. Mention them streaming on a Friday night. Mention I've dropped a new video if you see I've dropped a new video. If you're on Facebook groups and someone asks a question, I will likely have a video that covers the answer. So I can't drop that video in there because that's just me going out and spamming. But you can. Tell people, oh, we checked out that Aquarium Adventures guy. If you can get past the accent, sometimes he has some useful information. Rob Barry with the super chat. Thank you, Rob. I can play all the right notes, just not in the right order. That's a very good description of my musical abilities. I can play all the chords on the guitar. Just get me to play them in the right time, in the right places. Would you ever consider intentionally breeding your discus and selling them? Yes, I would. That is one of my plans, is to start breeding some discus in very low volumes. But that was one of the most it was one of the hardest experiences, but it was one of the most rewarding experiences I had when I did breed some discus previously. In fact, that was probably the thing that spurred me into making YouTube videos, because I wanted to keep a record of the breeding of discus. And then obviously as soon as I started making YouTube videos, I started doing other things and forgot about the breeding. But yeah, I would love to do that, and I probably will do that at some point. I'll get some breeding projects going, and I don't think I'll have enough tanks to keep everything for myself, so I probably will end up selling them on or giving them away, or who knows what with them. Frozen foods, brine shrimp, to be fixed, rotifers, blackworms, all the mosquito larvae. I've obviously missed a message. I think these are safe foods, possibly, that we're talking about. Okay. What's a good size medium fish that I can put with Discus in a 400 litre tank? Medium. I quite like the... so some people say these aren't necessarily compatible temperature-wise, but they've worked well with me. The neon blue rainbow fish, the Panchax rainbow fish, they're quite small, but they get decent size. But very stunning fish, one of my favourite fish. That would be good. What's the sticker super chat number required to get you get the guitar out? It requires a stream where I've got alcohol. I think that's the only way that's going to get me there. Unless we're talking thousands. I'll set a number that's suitably far away and unachievable. So yeah, if you get me over £1,000, I'll get the guitar out. I'm just looking over there to make sure it's actually got strings on it. But give me a few more weeks, I might give you some drums. Well, maybe not this time. German blue rams are impossible to find given they're a line that doesn't seem to exist in the hobby. Blue rams, well, most stores should stock. Wild caught seem harder, indeed. Pardon me. Palmer Aquatics, 2 experiences with him. First, he obviously didn't remember when he tried to be friends with me. Yeah, he's tried to be friends with me a couple of times as well. I'm thinking, do you not remember we had a massive falling out and you were a dickhead? We didn't have an argument, we had me explaining why you were wrong. If you want to grow, try going into YouTube Shorts. I have dabbled with shorts. That might be a line that we explore. Oh, I'm about 10 minutes behind the chat. I'm sure you'll get to it at some point. Oh dear. Sorry. Right, I think I'm at the bottom. So if I've missed your question, ask it again and we'll get back at it again. Congo Tetra with Discus. Yes, that's a very good well-trodden path. I do have kept Congo Tetra with Discus. I really like Congo Tetras, but everyone else's Congo Tetras seem to be better than mine. I don't know if I was doing something wrong. One of the first college bands I was in was called Shotgun Lobotomy. The other name I won't mention here. Right, we'll do another giveaway. We'll satisfy everyone that didn't win the last giveaway. Shall we do the Kaylee wheel? Tell you what, if Kaylee's still here and says do the Kaylee wheel, we'll do the Kaylee wheel. And give away something other than a calendar. Maybe we'll give away a hat this time. Right, if it's hat weather. Right, let me. There's some setup to do here, so let me just get on with that while you all chat amongst yourselves. I need to show the spin wheel. Rummy Nose Tetras, as Simon says, they are my number one go-to suggestion for any Discus tank. It's there. The wheel is spinning. It's a polo / t-shirt. Kaylee has spoken. Do the Kaylee wheel. So we've done it. It's a polo / t-shirt. I'll give you the option of a hat as well. If you don't want a polo or a t-shirt, you can have a hat. So that's what we're playing for. Let's see. Have all the other criteria been met? We've only got 33. I must have pissed everyone. Everyone earlier was clearly just Discus fans, or Simon Hall's fan club. They've all left now. We've got 33 concurrent viewers and 53 likes. Oh well. So that's... Let's get on to Nightbot. So remember the rules. And mods, I need you to help out here. Anyone spamming, let me know. I think we'll cut the numbers a little bit. Pick a number between 0 and 40. Be a person. Live in the UK this time. I'm not sending this international. So you have to live in the UK. This is UK only. You want to win a t-shirt, a hat, or a polo. Think of a number between 0 and 40 and type it in chat now. And if you don't win, if you're one of those unfortunate people that doesn't win, because not everyone can win, because guaranteed Jab or Kaylee will win this. No, we've already got a winner. Was that? Yeah. That was quick. And it wasn't Kaylee or Jab. And an all-time first, someone other than Kaylee has won the competition. Alex Addy, you have won the competition. So all you have to do is send me an email with your... In fact, let's talk you through this, shall we? I'm sorry, everyone, that was very fast. I usually get a wee bit of time to waffle and try and plug all my things. So if you're not Alex and you want to get a t-shirt or a hat or a polo shirt, get on the website like what I'm doing now. He says confidently, while struggling. Oh, don't know why I pressed that. Sorry. Professional, honest. So get on the website. As you can see, it is... Oh, no, you can't see that, can you? Aquarium Adventures. No, let's say that nice and slowly so you can all understand it and the subtitles has a chance to catch up. aquariumadventures.co.uk will take you to a page that looks something like this. Click on Shop. Click on Merch. If you want a t-shirt, Alex, click on t-shirt. If you want a polo, click on polo. If you want a hat, click on hat. But you don't need to click on hat, you just tell me what one you want. You click on the t-shirt. Let's say you want a t-shirt. You're going to choose a colour. You're going to choose a size. And then you're going to choose a logo. So the logos on offer are the pufferfish, the Plecos, this sucks logo, the pufferfish, this blows logo, the classic Aquarium Adventures logo, or the cock logo. They will all be embroidered, so this is a picture of the actual embroidery that you can see here. This is the cock logo. Ooh, what side do I need to go to? There you go. Can you see that, sort of? So it's all stitched, proper quality stuff here. Embroidery. Tell me what you want. Tell me where you live, and I'll send it to you. And if you're not Alex, and you want one anyway, because who wouldn't want that? You can have the same experience as I have when you walk through B&Q and random people shout, "Cock!" And you think, subscriber or potential fight? That's happened a couple of times now. So if you don't want that to happen, don't order the cock one. Get one of the other ones. But yeah, they're all embroidered, all proper good quality stuff. You have Aquarium Adventures on the arm, logo here, t-shirts, everything's the same. The hoodies are invaluable in this weather. If I wasn't me, I would buy one. Does that make sense? Kinda does. Anyway, if I wasn't me, I would buy one anyway because they're very comfortable, very warm. It's a hoodie. A nice hoodie. Buy it if you want it. Right, big face. So congratulations, Alex. But the key to this is you must send me an email with your address, including what county you're in. As Simon has said, please email your mailing address to graham@aquariumadventures.co.uk, and then we'll get them out there. We'll get it sent out to you. It might take a while because these are all made to order, so anyone that orders any merch along with food, so if you order, I don't know, some krill flake, bug flake and a hat, that's a bad example because I actually have the hats here and I will send you them, but if you order some, like a hoodie and some stuff, I'll send you the food separately and then I'll submit the order to our friend Phil, who often joins us. I don't think he's here tonight though, at Elite Logos for You. So any of your sticker or merchandising needs, elite logos for you, that will come direct from Phil. So I'll put the order in with Phil and then it'll get sent out to you. So, hope we've covered that. Are we happy? We've got about 10 minutes left. Does anyone have any more questions or want to remind me of some that I might have missed? Pardon me. And we'll see where we get to. I do. So like I say, it's happened more than once. The really weird ones is when there's no other interaction. Someone will just walk past me and go, cock, and walk away, and that's fine. Because they think, obviously, I'm wearing a irreverent t-shirt or something like that. They'll think, very funny, he's got cock written on it. Someone will shout at me from across a road or something like that and go, cock! And I'll be like, what? How can they read that from there? But once it's happened where someone's come up and said, yeah, I've seen you on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And that's why I shouted cock. That makes sense. But when you just shout cock at me from across the road, why wouldn't you then come and tell me it's because you know that I'm making videos and this is my merch? Or do you just think I'm a cock? Well, the one in B&Q was just somebody shouting at me from the other end of the aisle going, cock! And I was like, what? Oh, yeah, this. Well, how do you know about that? So, yes, I have lots of people wanting to talk about cock with me, and like even family members. My mother-in-law was asking me about cock the other week. That's a strange conversation you don't want to be having. Is this the subtitles going slightly wrong again by any chance? Grim Adventures? Graham. No, how do you say it? Graham. If everyone just spoke like me, it'd be a lot easier. Graham Adventures. Will I be selling food in larger quantities? I can, if you want to ask me about it. So I'm quite happy with the sizes that I'm currently selling. But if you want larger quantities, just shoot me an email, tell me what you're after, and we can work something out. So last 10 minutes, any questions? We do have an 18 plus cock section on the Discord. Maybe we should. Is that what we're talking about? What's this week's new YouTube video about? I'll tell you when I've thought about it. I don't really know. I've mostly been concentrating on moaning about how much my shoulder hurts and catching up on all the work after the new year. I really want to start doing fish room stuff, and it's bugging the hell out of me that I can't get on with it. So I don't really know what this week's video is going to be about. I was going to do a bit of let's look at all the stuff that's still in the fish room, or stuff still to do, or some kind of maintenance on that tank. I was going to do a aquatic YouTuber, like a follow-on from the last one, of how much money I made through YouTube, of how I make my videos. But then I'm a bit like, well, that's not really, it's not really fishy stuff. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make the next video about, because a video is about me just sitting here moaning. It's not going to be much fun. So I hope I've kept the moaning to a minimum through the live stream, not just made everyone else miserable. So who knows? This would be the point where I say, so you'll have to make sure you keep subscribed so you don't miss it when it comes out, because I don't even know when it is, because I haven't thought of it yet. Therefore, I haven't started making it. I've just seen another one. Yeah, there is a subtle, almost intentional reason why an almost intentional reason why my merch is this sucks, this blows, and cock. You can draw your own conclusions. A good idea there, Scott. Just to stir the pot, should do a video on why feeding mussels is bad for discus. Brilliant idea. Right, Rebecca, get writing up some proper scientific stuff that I can then transpose into my video about why mussels are bad, because I tend to skirt around the scientific stuff, but I think if I keep it scientific, that should be quite good. I forgot, what food did you use that you sell? For discus, soft Artemia let's show you, in fact, shall we? We can do that. We have the power. So this is my favourite food. These are the containers. So you remember earlier when we talked about the fry food? These are the containers that I also sell. But you can use any old container you want, really. Put all your dregs in one of them, shake it up, and you've got a perfect fry food. I may have finally got rid of all the bloody adverts, or most of them at least anyway. This one here, soft Artemia. So that's all the gubbins, and you can read about them there. But I've not met a fish that doesn't like it, and it seems to do really well. In fact, it was my Discus breeder that put me onto this. So I get it from a company in Germany that makes it. The price has gone up ridiculously recently, so I've just received an order. So I think I've got another 10 kilos in recently. And because of customs and all those things, it's getting ridiculously expensive. So that's the one, soft Artemia. Yeah, it's not by accident that my merch lines are "This blows, this sucks," and "cock." Read into that what you will. Yeah, maybe that you might have just decided what my excellent new video will be about mussels. So I will be repurposing lots of other people's information, because I mean, it's not like I went out and did any of the scientific research associated with this. But I'll just be presenting it. But that's a pretty good call. So anyone else get any more ideas of what videos I can make next? What do you want to see? Maybe we should have a section on the old Discord. Videos we should make. I'm happy if anyone else wants to make these videos. I'll give you the appropriate shout outs and things, or we could do some collaborations or anything like that. Let me just double check something. Do I have any 50-gram krill bags in? I do. I've got tons of krill. You know what? You just reminded me of something. Somebody emailed me the other day to say I was out of krill, and I'm definitely not. Is the website saying I'm out of krill? I'm just checking on this live. Krill flake, choose an option, 50-gram, out of stock. Nonsense. We're not out of stock. I can never remember how you change it. Maybe that's why we're out of stock. There we go. Stock quantity. There you go. No, we're very much in stock. So if you go to the website now, that should show. There we go. Much better. No, we've got plenty of stock. The soft Artemia crumbled up is also an excellent fry food, perfect for shellies. There you go, many uses. It's very rage mode reserved for feature idiots. The worst breeders in the UK. Oh, I can't do that. See, I really don't want to. I don't mind telling you, look, no one else is ever going to see this, but I can't in good conscience release a video publicly saying these people are rubbish, avoid at all costs. I'd much rather just promote the ones I know to be good, and then you can know by omission, don't go and use the other ones, and come and join us on the live streams and we'll tell you why not, or come and join us in Discord and we'll tell you why not. But I can't really release a video like that. Do what Aquarium Co-op does when they post best Tetras. Yeah, I could do things like that. They don't really inspire me, those type of videos, though, but I guess if that's what needs to be done. Good idea, though, good idea. 3 platies just gave birth, female sunset and male blue Mickey Mouse, so interested what comes out of this. Well, that could be a mix, couldn't it? Are the food tubs unavailable? What? The food tubs should not be unavailable. I've got thousands of the fuckers. They do seem to be unavailable. What the hell's happened there? Is that why nobody's bought any recently? I'm doing a bit of live feedback on the old website. Thank you very much, everyone. Right, got the sizes. Inventory. Oh, someone's changed it to a simple. Would you believe it? Oh, didn't we have this discussion a few weeks ago where I had to sit here and go, oh, I'll fix that later, and then I obviously didn't. I'll have to fix that later. But no, if I have hundreds of the buggers. So tubs are very much available. Right, I think we're getting to that last minute now. I promise I will try and fix that. What mattress to sleep on? Free honest advice, and I won't say what store I work for. Yeah, no, by all means, everyone get on the website, tell me why it's wrong, tell me what's gone wrong, and I will attempt to fix it. I'm not the best salesman in the world, am I? Right, everyone, it's getting to that point where I think we need to go over, and if you want to do any more of this, jump on Discord. I'll be there after I've been for a pee. I'll say hello. If you want to continue the fishy stuff, let's see, is anyone else still streaming? I'm sure, what are they called? Cold water aquatics now usually does. Cold water aquatics, that's what they're called. I'm sure Scott will put a link in the description. If you want to continue your fishy live streaming, you can go over there. It used to be Maple Street Aquatics, but now they're Cold Water Aquatics. Go over and say we sent you. See if you can get some other people to subscribe to here. And thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Thank you for joining me. See you in Discord in a bit. And any more ideas, definitely let me know, because I need all the help I can get with ideas. Bye! Done it again, where the website OBS just is not my friend these days. Right, let's try that again. Bye!